We will begin the webinar right away. So a very good evening to all the panelists and attendees. I'm Khushi Javeri from Kyoto University, and today we are here for the Global Network Project of University of Tokyo India office. This project aims to attract students primarily from South Asia to encourage them to pursue their further studies in Japan. In today's webinar, we have been joined by several renowned universities in Japan. Each of these universities will give us a 20-minute presentation about the programs offered at undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral levels, followed by a 5-minute Q&A session. Students are free to ask questions to our panelists in the Q&A box and not the chat box. Once again, please make sure that you're asking your questions in the Q&A box. And now I'd like to request Ms. Vaishnavi to share the agenda slide. Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Vaishnavi, for sharing the agenda slide. I'll be explaining the flow of today's webinar. So first, we'll have a brief introduction by Ms. Sakshi, the Program Assistant of University of Tokyo India office. Then we have a presentation for overview of study and work life in Japan by Ms. Vaishnavi Thakur from the University of Tokyo. Then we'll have a presentation by Kyoto University by Ms. Mako Kawano, the Senior International Education Administrator from the International Strategy Office, followed by a presentation by Ritsumekon University by Mr. Daniel Cherlo, the Administrator from the International Center. Then we'll have a presentation by Toyo University by Mr. Ryosuke Hori, the Inbound Coordinator. And lastly, we'll have a presentation by Japan Science and Technology, JST, by Mr. Nishikawa, the Advisor for International Relations. Now I'd like to request Ms. Sakshi to commence the webinar.
Thank you, Ms. Khushi, for the introduction. Let me share my screen. I hope everyone can see my screen. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sakshi Roy, and this program is hosted by the University of Tokyo India office and brought to you by MEX, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology in Japan. So thank you very much for joining us today for this exciting webinar about study and work in Japan, session 39. I would like to welcome all our expert group of panelists from prestigious Japanese universities, and we are very happy to have you all here, and we are going to start out with a brief introduction about study and work in Japan project. So we are the part of Study in Japan Global Network Project in Southwest Asia by Mixed, and our aim is to promote studying in Japan on behalf of all the Japanese universities through collaboration and networking between the overseas regional offices. We provide comprehensive information on Japanese universities. We organize education fairs and seminars throughout India to spread awareness about education opportunities in Japan. So today we are here for session 39 of Study and Work in Japan webinar series, and all these webinars is basically designed to introduce you to some of the best Japanese universities, and we'll be discussing the various program offerings and opportunities to study and work in Japan in our online session. So today we are joined by one national university, that is Kyoto University, and two private universities in Japan, that is Ritsumekon University and Toyo University. And all the universities will be discussing about their English-based programs and scholarship opportunities that are offered by them. So there has been approximately 700 plus universities as well as specialized vocational institutions in Japan. Studying in Japan means you'll further your studies in a well-rounded education system. You'll experience a unique new culture, and you'll have a chance to gain more international perspective. So no doubt you'll learn from the very best in the world and work in some of the most modern labs with great facilities. And you can also learn Japanese easily if you live in Japan, and some of the universities have preparatory Japanese language courses for international students who are enrolled in their programs. All right, now I request all our attendees to please scan this QR code to register for our upcoming webinar on Tuesday. That is Northeast India towards higher study in Japan. So we'll be conducting this webinar especially for Northeast Indian students. So everyone, please register if you're interested to join this special webinar. And please feel free to pass this information as much as you can. This is the email address of our office. In case if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. We would be very happy to assist you. Thank you very much for listening to me. I request all of you to please stay tuned with us till the end of the session. And please don't forget to register and join us on Tuesday next week for the Northeast India towards higher education in Japan. We hope to see you in our upcoming sessions, and we hope you'll enjoy this webinar. Thank you very much for paying attention. Please enjoy today's session.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sakshi, for the introduction. Now we'll proceed with the rest of the agenda. Ms. Vaishnavi, can you please share the agenda slide? Thank you so much. Now we'll have the presentation for overview of study and work life in Japan by Ms. Vaishnavi Thakur from the University of Tokyo.
Thank you, Ms. Khushi, for the opportunity. Let me share my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen. Thank you.
Okay. So, hello everyone. Very good evening, and thank you for joining us in today's webinar. So I'm Vaishnavi Thakur, a master's first year student in the Department of Electrical Engineering and Information Systems from the University of Tokyo. So today I'll be sharing about my experience about studying in Japan. So why did I choose Japan, and why do I think Japan is one of the best places for higher education? As you know, okay, this is my introduction. So as you know, Japan is an island country, and recently in the 2021 rankings, we have seen Japanese cities like Tokyo and Osaka being ranked as the most livable cities and the best student cities. And moving to another country puts a lot of stress on students and parents especially. So let's try to address some of the common concerns. For example, one of the concerns can be the public transportation. So what if you are living in, if you're living far away from the university, so how would you go, how would you travel? So the public transportation is the most safest option, and the connectivity is very well. So you need not worry about the commute, about commuting from university to the to your home or the stay. And then another one of the problems can be about the food. So how can vegetarians survive in Japan? So do we get all the options, all the food options? So like there are different types of cuisines like Nepali, Indian, and Thai. Tokyo is a hub for the international cuisines. And another concern, this might be especially for the parents, about the health of their child. So this is there's an excellent national health insurance policy which covers up to about 70% of the expenses, and the remaining 30% can be covered by the universities. So this is about, in general, about Japan. So let us look into the education system in Japan. So education in Japan, the universities in Japan are classified into 3 categories: public, private, and national. So public universities are run by the the national government, by the local public bodies, and national universities are run by the national government, and private by the private organizations. So what is the difference between education in India and in Japan? So in India, we see that the admission process into various universities is through entrance exams, that is the national entrance exams like JEE, NEET, GATE, and I'm sure you guys must all be preparing for them. So, but whereas in Japan, the education and the admission process, the admission authority lies with the universities. So you directly contact the universities if you want to gain an admission. One of the common misconceptions about education here is about the language of instructions. So many of you must be thinking that we need to know Japanese in order to study here, but that's not the case, because there are plenty of English programs which are offered by many universities, and these webinars are the bridge to provide you the details about those universities. And today we have 3 universities, like Miss Khushi has explained. So okay, coming back to the English program. So in graduate, which includes both masters and doctoral studies, we have around 160 courses in 51 universities, and in undergraduate programs there are around 90 courses in 40 universities. So this is about education in Japan. So as an international student, how do we get admission into these universities? Let's look into that. So the admission for the international students is into the bachelor's program, master's, and doctoral program. So for the bachelor's program, it is usually through entrance exams, and some universities might also ask you to submit SOPs and essays. And for the graduate, that is master's and doctoral programs, the first step is to contact the professors. Usually for the graduate programs, once you get an acceptance from the professor, then you can easily apply to the university. So further, you need to know your research interest, then contact professors in that area, get an acceptance from them, and then you can follow the usual university admission flow. So especially in India, if we see, like, many students, they try to prefer Eastern countries over Western countries. So I believe that this is mainly because they're not aware of the wonderful opportunities here. And we also see many students going to US. So if we compare about the tuition fees in their public and private universities and public and private universities in Japan, you can see the contrast, which is very clear. The tuition fees when compared to Japan is very high in the other Eastern countries. When you see at the living expenses, they are almost the same. But besides this, we also have plenty of scholarships in Japan. Like the most popular scholarships, including MEX, JASO, and the other local government body scholarships. So this is like you can also take the advantage of these scholarships besides the low tuition fees. So I think that this is one of the main attractive points for the students to choose Japan over the other Eastern countries. This is about the admissions for the international students. And let's look into the job opportunities once you graduate. So as you know, Japan has the lowest unemployment rate, which is around 2.4%, and it is one of the least unemployed countries among the other G7 nations. So, and the average salary once a student graduates from the university is around 3.9 to 5.5 million yen. So which companies can you target once you graduate? So there are many traditional Japanese companies that are established in Japan, and also you can target other global companies that operate in Japan. So one of the biggest advantages a student has once he graduates is getting the visa. So the conversion from student visa to working visa is a very hassle-free process. It is very easy, and unlike the other Eastern countries like United States, where you know that it's very difficult to get a working visa, so it's not the case in Japan. The process is very easy. And also there are plenty of job opportunities right now available for all the industries, especially the IT and manufacturing and even many other industries. So there is no chance that you might have to look for many job opportunities, but in the end you'll somehow land up with a job opportunity. So you need not worry about jobs once you graduate. So this is about study and work life in Japan. So is Japan only about studies and work? So do we get any free time? So let's look into my life in the weekend. So after the weekdays hassle with research, we can take out some time to pursue your hobbies, because every city and every ward has a local community center and a sports center where you can go and indulge into many of the activities. So besides that, Japan also has very good scenic beauty. As you can see, from mountains to rivers to sunrises to sunsets, you can enjoy everything. And if you are an outdoor person and a foodie person, then Japan is definitely not going to disappoint you. So do consider Japan as one of your options for the higher education. So it doesn't matter how much I say that Japan is great. It's up to you to come here and experience it for yourself and then decide if Japan is your place or not. So yeah, I hope I would see some of you in near future and wish you all the best for your higher studies.
Thank you so much, Ms. Vaishnavi, for the presentation. I'm sure students have gotten a gist of the study and work life in Japan. Once again, thank you so much for the presentation. Could you please share the agenda slide? Yes, thank you so much for sharing the slide. Now we'll have a presentation by Kyoto University. So before we start with the presentation, I will give a brief introduction about the university. So Kyoto University is one of the oldest and the most prestigious national universities in Japan. It was selected as a top type university for the top global university project by the Japanese government. It has generated several distinguished prime ministers, Nobel laureates, and world-class researchers. It has also opened doors for international students to pursue a career at multinational companies in Japan or the overseas. Now I'd like to request Ms. Mako to give us an insight into the university. Yes, Ms. Mako, we can see your screen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the detailed introduction, Ms. Kushi. And hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this session. I'm Mako Kawano from the Admissions Assistance Office, Kyoto University. It's my pleasure to have this opportunity to talk to you today. In this session, I would like to provide you with the basic university information, including what studies are available in English, living environment in Kyoto, financial information, and how to apply, especially for graduate schools. Let me start with the university overview. Kyoto University was established in 1897 as the second oldest national university in Japan. Since then, the university has a policy and a strong atmosphere of academic freedom. We believe this is what makes us a top leading research university in Japan. But our reputation is not limited within the country. Kyoto University is regarded one of the best universities in the world and highly ranked in various global university rankings. Also, our researchers have been awarded 11 Nobel Prizes to this day. In fact, this is the largest number among Asian universities at the moment. In addition to 11 Nobel laureates, we have 2 field medal and 1 Gauss medal winners, one of the highest honors in the field of mathematics. From this award, you can see that the Kyoto University students will have opportunities to learn directly from the world's top-level researchers. I should also mention that our professor won an Ig Nobel Prize last year, and we are all proud of that. I believe this shows our academic freedom motto exactly. The university provides the researchers and the students with the environment to perform their original, unique, and creative studies. The university is located in Kyoto, Japan. We have 3 campuses across broader Kyoto City area. There are also 44 off-campus research and educational facilities within Japan, offering students the choice to engage with field studies. Looking around the world, we have total 61 facilities outside of Japan, including ASEAN Center in Thailand, European Center in Germany, North American Center in the US, and Africa office in Ethiopia. Next, I'd like to show you what Kyoto is like, what is like living there. Kyoto is the ancient capital city, which remains as a cultural heart of the country. It's a very popular tourist destination, and the city has famous festivals and events throughout the year. You can see the beauty of traditions everywhere, including the 17 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in Kyoto. On the other hand, Kyoto is a modern city with many global companies such as Nintendo, a famous game company. The city has good places for shopping and to eat out, so you can enjoy both Japanese traditional culture and modern aspects in the city. Kyoto can be also described as a student-friendly city. Kamo River, which runs close to the university, is a popular place for our students. They can sit down by the river, talking, reading, spending time however they feel like. The picture on the right is a place called Philosopher's Path. It said, Nishida Kitaro, the founder of Kyoto School of Philosophy, this person, had walked this path frequently, thinking. Kyoto University students still enjoy a pleasant walk there. Now I'd like to introduce programs which do not require Japanese proficiency for admission, along with lab introductions from 2 professors and 2 students. We offer a wide range of study areas under 10 undergraduate and 18 graduate schools. Although Japanese is used as the basic language in most programs, we also offer English medium programs and graduate research opportunities available in English. For undergraduate level, we have 2 programs for international students who would like to first study in English. First one is the International Program of Civil Engineering, which is a 4-year program leading to a Bachelor of Engineering. All classes are conducted in English, and the program begins in April. And the second one is Kyoto International Undergraduate Program, or Kyoto IUP. This is a 4.5-year program, which enables the student to learn Japanese and obtain a bachelor degree at the undergraduate school of their choice. No Japanese language ability is required to begin with. In the first 6 months, it provides intensive Japanese language lessons and some pre-foundation classes in certain subjects. During the first and second year, students study mainly in English. And when they get into the 3rd and 4th year, they will become able to study in Japanese. The program begins in October. For details, please visit each program website. For graduate studies, various study areas are available in English, from social sciences to engineering and biostudies. Even if it is not included on this table, students still have the chance of studying in English, depending on the laboratory or the supervisor, especially for the doctoral programs. We also offer joint and double degree programs for graduate studies, and these programs are offered all in English. For example, the double master's degree program in management with Cornell University, a joint PhD program in genomic medicine with McGill University, the joint master degree program in transcultural studies with Heidelberg University, and so on. Now we have some laboratory introductions from professors and students. First up, from the Graduate School of Engineering is Professor Banerjee in Nano Microsystem Engineering Lab.
Hello everyone, I am Amit Banerjee. I'm a junior associate professor in Kyoto University. I'm going to share with you my impression of Kyoto University's research environment and facilities. So I joined Kyoto University back in 2015, initially as a postdoctoral researcher after completing my PhD from IIT Kanpur. Kyoto University is one of the oldest and most prestigious universities in Japan, and it also ranks very high globally for its academic and research output. I think Kyoto University offers a truly state-of-the-art research facility, and researchers here work in an open environment on a variety of intriguing research topics. I belong to the Department of Microengineering, and here we have an incredible collection of microfabrication and microscopy tools. Our lab is called the Nano Microsystem Engineering Lab. In our lab, we are developing micro-nanoscale machines of the future called MEMS and NEMS, and we focus on making ultra-sensitive and intelligent sensors suitable for a nanotechnology-driven future society. Other labs in our department are also involved in exciting research topics on biomechanics, microfluidics, organ-on-a-chip technology, actually too many to mention in this short clip. So it is highly likely that a leader of your field is working here in Kyoto University, so check it out. And we are ready to welcome you in this excellent university and in this beautiful city of Kyoto.
So next, from the Graduate School of Biostudies is Professor Carlton in Meiotic Chromosome Dynamics in C. elegans Laboratory.
Hello, my name is Peter Carlton. I'm an associate professor in the Graduate School of Biostudies at Kyoto University, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my laboratory and the kind of research we do and the kind of environment we have. My laboratory studies the process of meiosis, which is a specialized cell division that creates sperm cells and egg cells, in the case of animals, from precursor germline cells. So diploid cells are turned into haploid cells by reducing the chromosome number. We study this process in the model organism Caenorhabditis elegans, or C. elegans, which is a 1 millimeter long nematode that is especially well suited to both powerful molecular genetic approaches as well as microscopy approaches. My laboratory uses both. We create mutants in genes that we know are involved in meiosis, and we analyze the phenotypes of these mutations with powerful three-dimensional fluorescence microscopy as well as quantitative image analysis. We have students from all over the world who are learning and researching this process, and if you are interested in cell biology or genetics or learning computational tools such as programming for three-dimensional image analysis, those are all things you can learn in my laboratory. We use English for all of our day-to-day communication, including our research reports and lab meetings. So my website is carltonlab.org, as you can get from the material. And if you are at all interested, please check out my website for more information and don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.
Then a doctoral student from Microbial Biotechnology Lab in the Graduate School of Agriculture will talk about what her lab is like.
Hi, my name is Tala and I'm studying in Applied Life Sciences. It's the name of my division, and the name of my lab is Applied Microbiology. The name is a bit different in Japanese, but basically what we do is we try to apply biotechnology and microbiology to understand the physiology of some of the processes in the nature and try to find an application for it. And I was the first international student after a long time in my lab, but now there are two of us, and our professors are really amazing. The atmosphere, and the good thing is everybody tries to talk to you. We do know some Japanese, but they will always try their best in English. Of course, the professors can speak English, and everybody, my lab mates, they always try to help you. And it's a very friendly, relaxed atmosphere for you to do your research, learn, and get better. And that's one of the best things I love about my lab, that it is helping and supporting in most of the times. So I'm going to introduce my lab to you. And in our lab, as you can see, we do a lot of protein work, DNA work, and depends on the research that the professor thinks is better each year. We have 4 to 5 different themes, and they're mostly theoretic, but it's nice. Everybody's nice. We have all the goods you need, good supervisors, good protocol. Your seniors will always help you. And that's what I like about the environment in the lab, as you can see.
An Indian doctoral student from the Graduate School of Biostudies will now be introducing her graduate school.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ria De Souza, and I am a PhD student in Kyoto University, and I belong to the Laboratory of Molecular and Cellular Biology. The Graduate School of Biostudies has a number of different laboratories, and you don't have to worry about getting a program as in taught in English or in Japanese, because you have the choice to choose whether you want an English taught program or a Japanese taught program. And also they have a lot of credit courses, and you have an advanced English discussion course, which helps you to obtain your language ability in research and how to put forth really good research papers. So this course so far has helped me gain a lot of interest in my research, and it has helped me develop as a researcher also. So the various labs which are present in Graduate School of Biostudies are, you have the Laboratory of Genetics, you have Plant Developmental Biology, you have the Laboratory of Cell Cycle Regulation, and also Molecular Biology, Cancer Biology, and many more. So if you are interested, just look into the Graduate School of Biostudies, go through the webpage, the faculties, and they have everything, the main webpage of the lab itself, and also the contact details. So I wish you all the best in your future and hope to see you all at Kyoto University, Japan. Thank you.
I hope you get some idea of what Kyoto University is about by now. So next, I'd like to talk about the financial matters. Since Kyoto University is a national university, tuition fees are relatively reasonable. There is no difference in fees between international students and the local students. Average living cost for our students is around $800 per month. Of course, it could be higher or cheaper depending on your lifestyle, but in general, it is quite reasonable as for the size of the city and its rich environment in Kyoto, I think. We have 7 dormitories for international students. The monthly rent fees range from around $115 to $350 for single type rooms. A wide variety of scholarships are available for international students to study at Kyoto University. The most common one is Japanese government scholarship, known as mixed scholarship. Students will receive around $1,000 to $1,300 per month for their living, and also it covers university application, admission, and tuition fees, as well as one round-trip ticket from your home country. Applications are available through 2 different schemes, embassy recommendation or university recommendation. But most of the next mixed scholarship students at the Kyoto University earned their scholarship through the embassy recommendation scheme. So I suggest you look into this one first if you are interested in this scholarship. Here's the application procedure for the embassy recommendation scheme. In order to apply through this scheme, you must submit your application to the Japanese embassy or consulate in your home country, maybe India for most of you today. For the application information, please visit the Japanese embassy website. The next timing of the application will be around April to May in 2022 for the 2023 admissions. Private foundations scholarships are also available. Kyoto University annually select and nominate candidates for around 60 foundations. Each foundation typically select 1 or 2 students and provide around $460 to $1,800 per month. For those scholarships, the applications are accepted mainly after their enrollment at the university. If you like to check what kind of scholarships would be available for your future reference, please visit our website. For those who are from one of these institutions listed here and interested in a master's program, you are eligible to apply for this scholarship, Asian Future Leaders Scholarship Program. This scholarship covers both tuition fees and living expenses. The next application is for admissions in October 2022 and April 2023. The details will be announced on this website shown here in the beginning of January. But please note, the application schedule shown here is for the scholarship, and you need to apply to the university admission separately. As I will explain later, the application procedures vary depending on each graduate school. So those who intend to apply for this scholarship should first check the application schedule for the program of your interest as well. Finally, I would like to explain how to apply for graduate programs. For undergraduate programs, please visit the program website that I showed earlier. First of all, let me explain about the research student system, which is quite unique to Japanese universities. Research student in Japan is a non-degree seeking status, studying under their supervisors on campus, and which enables the students to prepare towards the degree program and their admission exam in some cases. It's quite common that international students start from this research student status to pursue graduate studies. At Kyoto University, admission procedures such as the requirement and application schedule vary depending on the graduate school or program. So I can't show and explain everything here. What I show instead here is a general procedure for postgraduate application. Please have a look at this chart. First, please find your potential supervisor. You can search on our researcher database available from the university website. This is because it is generally quite difficult to find or identify your intended graduate school program at a site. For example, if you are interested in chemistry, there could be at least 6 program options you can take, like graduate school of engineering, agriculture, energy science, medicine, biostudies, and so on. So we suggest the prospective students to look for their potential supervisor first, and then check which graduate school she or he teaches at. And then please apply through Admissions Assistance Office, AAO, via an online preliminary application system. AAO stands in between the applicant and the prospective supervisor or graduate school to guide them through so that they can reach the correct information. Since Kyoto University is a big comprehensive university with a wide variety of study field and education programs, applicants can easily get lost on the way. We work to prevent such cases from happening. Next, if you get a positive result from the supervisor through the AAO process, start to contact the supervisor to obtain a prior acceptance. And finally, apply to the graduate school's entrance examination. For master's programs in economics, management, and energy science, you don't have to find or contact your prospective supervisor for your application. In the AAO application process, we will simply confirm your educational background and application eligibility. Once you complete the AAO process, you will proceed with the application to the graduate school. For the application details, including when you actually should submit your application, please check each graduate school website. So this is the end of my presentation. I hope you could find any information useful. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us by email here. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kawano, for the very informative presentation. There are a couple of questions in the Q&A portal. Could I pick up a few?
Yes, please.
Does your university provide programs in animation or VFX?
Animation, we do not. I think some universities in Kyoto, such as Sacral University or University of Art, provide the education about animation, I think.
Okay, thank you. Are there undergraduate programs in aeronautical engineering?
I think so, yes.
Okay. There are also a couple of programs in civil engineering at Kyoto University. So people who are interested in urban planning or civil engineering, you could have a look at their undergraduate or graduate programs.
Yes, for civil engineering especially, we have the English medium program for undergraduate level. So yeah.
Are there any doctoral programs?
Any
PhD
doctor
programs?
yes, of course, yeah.
Could you elaborate a little on the doctoral programs?
Well, as I said, Kyoto University has 18 graduate schools covering from social sciences, humanities to the engineering, biostatistics. So it really depends on what you are interested in, what you want to study about. But most probably we cover the field that of your interest.
Okay.
Are there graduate programs in microbiology or biotechnology?
Did you say undergraduate or graduate?
Graduate programs.
Yes, we have, yeah.
Are there graduate programs in Japanese culture or Japanese language?
We don't have like a Japanese language course itself. We of course provide Japanese language education, like for all international students who are majoring like different studies, but we don't have like just the course degree program. We just study Japanese language.
Right. Okay. Also, if students want to contact the professors, how can they contact them?
It depends on your situation, but as I explained, if you would like to apply for the graduate program and need to contact the professor, please first apply the Admissions Assistance Officer AAO application system.
I'll pick up two more questions. Is English proficiency test required to submit?
Well, again, as I said, like we have 18 graduate schools, and the application procedures and the requirement varies depending on the program. So please search the application guidelines of the programs of your interest, and the application guidelines state what you need to submit for the application.
Yes, as Ms. Kawano just said, the application guidelines of each program differs. So I request all the students to visit the program they want to enroll in. And they can also find the faculty member list in the respective department or the program.
If you couldn't find that the application guidelines, or if you couldn't identify the supervisor of interest, just let us know. We will probably can offer some help to find that.
Yes, in Japan, most of the universities have the admissions office, and the admissions office is very supportive, and they're ready to answer any questions that you have. So if you're confused, please contact the admissions office, and their contact email address is on the website. Once again, thank you so much, Ms. Kawano, for answering the questions. There are still several questions in the Q&A portal, but as we are running out of time, I would request you to answer them when other universities are presenting.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the comprehensive presentation.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Vaishnavi, could you please share the slide? We can't see the slide. Yes, thank you so much. So now we have a presentation by Hitsumekan University. So Ritsumekon University is a renowned private university in Japan with a range of English-based programs and a diverse international learning atmosphere. The university was also selected for the top global university project as an institution that provides world-class education and research. It also boasts several partnerships with universities in the overseas. Now I'd like to request Mr. Daniel to give us an insight into the university.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Thank you very much. Yes, greetings, everyone. My name is Danny. I work at the Ritsumekon University International Center, and I'm very happy to be able to speak with you this, I think afternoon for most of you, evening for us, of course, here in Japan. But to speak with you about the programs that we offer here at Ritsumekon University. First off, I would just like to share my screen here. So today, I hope you are able to see my screen here, but we will be speaking mostly about our graduate programs here at Ritsumekon University. And I'd just like to also thank Ms. Kawano there at Kyoto University as well. Ritsumekon University is also located in Kyoto. Well, we have 3 campuses, and I'll be speaking about those momentarily. But our sort of main and sort of original campus is located in Kyoto. And I think she gave a very nice introduction of the city at the beginning of her presentation, which I'm quite thankful for. Kyoto is definitely a city full of universities. When universities are in session, there are some figures that say that 1 in every 10 people in the city is a university student. So it's very much a student city. And of course, very beautiful and just a great environment, I think, for any students, especially students who are interested in studying in Japan. So moving right along, just give a brief overview, but Ritsumekon University, we have 20 graduate and professional schools, 6 of which offer their master's programs and 7 of which offer their doctoral programs entirely in English. We have, in addition to those, we have 46 research institutes and centers, and they sort of, act as hubs in their, sort of respective fields. They're run by professors from, our various graduate schools, and they accept a lot of visiting researchers and such from overseas. We have international students from over 70 countries. Get this out of here. Okay. Over 1,400 full-time faculty members, and then 3,500 graduate students, of which 941 are international students. So quite a few of our graduate students are international students. Before I go, unfortunately, I think I may have deleted it from this slide, but we also have about 2,600 plus international students. I think the count right before COVID was about 2,800. So in terms of international student population, I think we're maybe number 3 in the country for total student body. And the university overall also has a total of about 36,000 students. So for that as well, I think we're up there, maybe ranked near about 3rd in terms of size overall. So we're definitely, with 20 graduate schools, we're definitely a comprehensive university. And again, many students and a lot of international colleagues here who you can study with. So as I mentioned earlier, we have 3 campuses actually. Our main campus is going to be located in Kyoto, and I'll mention that in a moment. But our newest campus is called Osaka Ibaraki Campus, or OIC. And OIC is home to our graduate schools of 2 of our graduate schools, which offer their programs entirely in English, and that would be Policy Science and Technology Management. So Policy Science, actually, they offer their undergraduate, their bachelor's program, as well as their master's and doctoral programs in English. Technology Management only offers their doctoral program in English, so just keep that in mind. And Osaka Ibaraki Campus it's brand new. It was just finished in 2015, and it's let's see if I can skip to the next slide here. Yeah. Here's a look at the campus. Of course, this is pre-COVID, but a lot of the restrictions here in Japan, as you may know, the case numbers for COVID have been gone down quite low. We're only about over 100, just over 100 per day now, average. So a lot of the daily restrictions on life have really eased. And I think many of the universities, and ours as well, have resumed many courses on campus, as well as doing online at the same time. And so hopefully, in the near future, maybe when some of you are able to come and study in Japan, we'll be able to have, student events and stuff on campus like this again. But yeah, OIC is just it's a brand new and nice new campus. And at this campus, as I mentioned, one of the programs is Policy Science. So I'll speak about our graduate school of Policy Science for a bit here. But Policy Science, it's an interdisciplinary field. So a lot of times, some students will look our program up or ask about it, and they'll say, wait, policy science, don't you mean political science? And political science is a different field. Policies, it's maybe a little bit closer to our international relations department. Maybe that's a little bit closer to political science, although political science is certainly covered within policy science. But policy science is an interdisciplinary field. which covers policy science, economics, law, business administration, urban planning, environmental engineering, and so on. And all of these different topics sort of cross paths in policy science. The goal of policy science is to take or identify an issue, a policy issue, for example, and then come to a solution which meets, the standards, or makes as many people happy as possible, right? It's not, okay, let's just go with plan A and just ignore everyone's opinion. It's, okay, let's take everyone's opinion into account, and let's take all these various factors, the environment, the engineering perspective, various perspectives into account, and come up with a solution that will best serve this issue and make everybody happy. So that's the study of policy science. It's kind of a unique program. And in this program, actually, basically there's 3 different clusters that students study in: environment and development, social management, and public policy clusters. And everything is based around research projects. So the students and the faculty work together on a main research project together. So it's definitely sort of a unique program. Moving along, we have the Graduate School of Technology Management, or as we call Management of Technology, or MOT. And MOT is also another kind of unique field. It's definitely interdisciplinary, and I'm not sure that too many other universities here in Japan really cover technology management, and certainly in English it's maybe a little bit rare. But yeah, technology management covers, it sort of takes into account different fields, including management, business administration, you have engineering, you have computer science, mathematics, and so on and so forth. And they're trying to basically, in this department, come up with solutions both for companies and for society to really improve their profits, for example, but also improve their efficiency through innovation and sort of strategic investment into technological innovation. So, for example, even for a university, let's say, there's a lot of platforms and systems and computers and whatnot, and you have to sort of update that over time, right? And there's a lot of money involved, and but when you decide to sort of take the jump and maybe develop some new system or install some new hardware, afterwards, of course, maybe your efficiency might go up, right? You might save a lot of manpower or working hours by automating some systems, right? So that's basically the sort of topic, or one aspect, I guess you could say, that's covered by this graduate school. Moving along, as I mentioned before, Kinugasa campus, our one campus located in Kyoto, is this one right here. And Kinugasa campus is home to our Graduate School of International Relations. International relations, I'm going to move right along too, because I think we're probably going to run short on time today. But yeah, sorry, here's a look at the campus. International Relations building is actually the one on the sort of far left there. And yeah, our Kyoto campus is basically at the very northern edge of Kyoto City here. As you can see those sort of mountains in the background. If you go any further north here, the mountains just kind of continue, right? It's, or really at sort of the very edge. Kyoto is a sort of kind of an opening or like a valley or a pocket sort of in between a sort of horseshoe shaped set of mountains. So the city limits are quite well defined by these mountains. But yeah, it's it's a scenic part of the city. And actually, so we'll go back one slide here. The Golden Pavilion, for example, is located just nearby this campus, and many other famous temples and tourist spots are just in this area here. Here's another look at another festival on campus. But yes, moving along, our Graduate School of International Relations is located at this campus, and international relations, of course, I think you're all, sort of well aware now of international relations, but it's definitely a broad field. It covers various topics, including economics, diplomacy, conflict resolution, climate change, regional development, media, and so on. And these are all internationally relevant issues, right? These are sort of issues that can't necessarily, well, they can be addressed by one country at a time, but they can't really be solved by one country at a time. Various countries need to work, bilaterally, multilaterally to solve the sort of issues, which are the focus of international relations. So it's dealing with big issues here at this department. And the goal of this graduate school is to, create future leaders who are going to be able to identify and solve or provide some kind of solutions and positive answers to the sort of socioeconomic, political, and cultural issues which are faced by countries around the world. And as you know, we are faced with many of these issues these days. The field is extremely broad, as I've kind of mentioned. So this graduate school is home to professors with various backgrounds, be it from the United Nations or from central banks or think tanks and whatnot, to major companies. So international relations is something where we need to have a lot of sort of perspectives brought in to address issues as well. So due to that nature, the faculty is quite diverse as well. So finally, our third major campus is our Biwaku-Kusatsu Campus. This is actually where I work. It's located in neighboring Shiga Prefecture. And actually, between our three campuses, it's only about 45 minutes commute, whether you're using the train. We also have buses that connect the campuses. So, sometimes students will have friends on another campus. Maybe there's an event going on, or maybe students are participating in some kind of club activity and they're going to do something at another campus. And it's easy to get between the campuses using those buses, or even just using public transit. And of course, for students, there are sort of discount passes for public transport and so on. So yeah, it's kind of affordable. Now, our Biwaku-Kusatsu campus here is located in Shiga Prefecture. It's more of a sort of rural area compared to Osaka or Kyoto. And thanks to that, this campus is our widest, sort of, it's very spread out. It's very, large campus by Japanese standards, I think. And here is home to most of our hard sciences, but also economics. But that's, again, hard sciences, including life sciences, which covers topics like chemistry or biotechnology, bioinformatics, biomedical sciences, information science and engineering, which covers computer science, AI, robotics, and so on, and science and engineering, which is our biggest graduate school, our largest program overall, and it covers pretty much everything except for aeronautical engineering. That's one thing that's we don't really have a professor covering that topic, but otherwise, if you're studying architecture, fluid engineering, fluid dynamics, solar technology, and so on and so forth, there's probably a professor at our science and engineering graduate school who could teach you. And these four programs are all offered entirely in English, again, as I've mentioned. In the case of information science and engineering, their bachelor's, master's, and doctoral program are all offered in English. So all three levels. So just a great environment, I think, for international students, because there's just so many fellow international students of all levels in the program. And of course, all of our schools, including the ones at our other campuses as well, have faculty from around the world. Yes, and as sort of mentioned on the page here, this campus is located just, in sort of an area that's full of Japanese manufacturers, including Panasonic, Fujitec, Renesas, Shimadzu, and others, engineering firms, and so on. And there's a lot of opportunity for sort of visits and company tours and so on to ease. So here's some, I need to actually take some new photos of the campus when the weather's a little bit nicer. This is a little bit cloudy here. But yeah, it's, as you can see, it's kind of a wide campus, sort of spread out campus. But yes, moving along, our master's program in economics development is the master's program at our Graduate School of Economics. And this program, it's been around since 2002, taught entirely in English once again. And it's full of students hailing from around the world, and many students hailing from central banks from places here in Asia, as well as far as Africa and Europe and so on. The focus of the program, as is hinted at by the title here, economic development, it's focused on economic development in developing countries or underdeveloped countries, and it focuses on various topics such as regional development, infrastructure, as well as development of infrastructure and financial and business infrastructure, topics such as promotion of the industries, foreign direct investment, and so on. And the program also makes a point to identify some of the basically processes that occurred after World War II in Japan, to identify some of the things that helped Japan progress to where it is today. And it's handy to draw parallels between your own country in some cases and in Japan, to sort of get some ideas where potential growth might be possible. And that's something which is definitely a look is taken at that at this program. Also, because many of the companies in the area, we have like visiting professors and so on from various companies in the area, and through this great connection, we have a lot of tours actually at this graduate school, a considerable number of tours to both these companies as well as regional areas. So one unique thing about the program is a lot of these areas here in the Shiga Prefecture, they really developed, and stations bloomed, and the population skyrocketed, and various companies came in, businesses opened up because of city initiatives or regional initiatives to sort of draw in business or draw in tourists or what have you. And so there's a great opportunity to visit those regions and municipalities and so on as well, and learn directly, as well as going to the companies and factories and so on which came into the areas, and seeing firsthand and learning from the people at their municipalities on how they develop the area. So there's a lot of great lessons to learn which you can perhaps bring back to your home country and work towards the development of your own home area or region. Next is our Graduate School of Life Sciences. And Graduate School of Life Sciences, they basically are here developing talented researchers who are addressing the issues involving energy, in the environment, food supply, and medicine in this day and age. And we have plenty of problems to deal with, I think, these days. And to that end, life sciences covers mainly, or broadly, I could say, the topics of chemistry, biotechnology, bioinformatics, and biomedical sciences. And while students will generally focus on one or in one of those sort of course clusters, of course, they'll take electives from all the other topics as they see fit to round out their study. And we have a lot of graduates actually from that program working here in Osaka, for example, working at a lot of food manufacturers or chemical companies and engineering firms and so on. Good track record with this program. Next is our Graduate School of Information Science and Engineering, which actually is located at Biwaku-Kusatsu Campus in Shiga. It will be moving to our Osaka campus in, I believe, 2 years' time. So yeah, about 2 years' time. So, any students who are interested in this graduate school might be spending a little time in both locations, depending on when you can get to Japan. But this program deals with AI, entertainment, computing, software engineering, image analysis, machine learning, image processing, and so on. And it's, as I mentioned before, the undergraduate program is also offered in English. It's just a lot of graduate and undergraduate students, international students in the program, and a lot of international faculty as well. Yeah, it's quite popular program. I can tell you that we get a fair number of applications and for each year for this program. Yeah, it's quite popular. I encourage you to check it out if you are interested in computer science topics of any kind. And then finally, we have our largest program, which is our Graduate School of Science and Engineering, as I mentioned before. And science and engineering, actually information science and engineering and life sciences were formerly of this program, and they sort of got too big and they sort of branched off as their own graduate schools. But now this program covers mathematics, physics, advanced electrical, electronic and computer systems, mechanical engineering and robotics, and architecture and environmental and civil engineering. And it's very large, and due to its very large size, we have a great amount of, as far as private schools go, a great amount of funding and sort of investment and money coming in from both the government and from companies to do joint research and so on. So yeah, and that goes for our other programs too, but it certainly is the case for science and engineering. So don't worry, you'll be using very, very nice research equipment, tools, computers, and so on, if you are a member of this program. So just to recap, yeah, this is a list of our English language graduate programs. And at the very end, I'll try and squeeze in undergraduate programs as well. So just if you would like to find applications, I'll briefly explain how to do so. So if you're taking a look at our homepage here, you just go to the top of the page and you'll see it says academics towards the top. If you go to academics, our graduate schools will come down. And if you have an idea of what your graduate school of interest is, you can go ahead and click on that here. And so let's say that you're interested in life sciences, chemistry, for example, or biotechnology, for example. Check out life sciences, just go down, scroll down to admissions at the bottom of the page here. Check out application information, and the application information will pop up. And as was mentioned by Kyoto University, at Ritsumekon University as well, the graduate schools, they each have their own procedures for admissions. So application criteria and sort of documents will vary slightly across the different graduate schools. You'll still have to submit your transcripts and so on for each school, right? It's going to be similar, but the fine details, things like the application period, will be very different depending on the graduate schools. So just make sure to check out the application info for your graduate school of interest. And then if you go down, you can just select the application guidelines, and you'll get a PDF looking something like this, giving you all of the details. Here it's a little bit hard to see, and this is a bit outdated, but it'll give you the application period for the program. It'll give you other handy information that you need, including a list of application documents and so on. As for, the application, when the results will come out. Just for a quick overview, for our master's programs, and generally the doctoral programs often have the same application window, but I'm particularly highlighting the master programs here on this slide. This is an idea of when our applications fall for which program. So depending on which of our programs, like for example here, you can see international relations. International relations actually has programs beginning in April and September. Whereas economics, if you want to enroll into economics, you have to enroll from September. So just keep that in mind. This varies also across the graduate schools. And here's a look at the hard sciences as well.
Yes, Daniel, sorry for interrupting, but we're running out of time.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, I'll just mention, let me stop my screen share here then. That as for English language tests, because that question also came up previously, all of our graduate schools will, and undergraduate programs will, request that you submit that at the time of your application, but there's no minimum score depending on the program. Some of them do have a minimum score, but yeah, suffice to say you'll need to have a score of some kind, or if you have a certificate from your previous school that says that all your programs were taught in English, that can usually suffice. As for undergraduate programs, if your first language is English and you can sort of prove that somehow, that's also will suffice. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the informative presentation. There are a couple of questions in the Q&A portal, so could I pick up?
Okay, please go. Yeah.
What is the living cost for international students at Ritsumekon University?
Well, we have 3 different campuses. So whether you're at Osaka, Kyoto, or Shiga, depending on which campus you're located, I would say that the price might vary a little bit, but if maybe you're looking at $800 US to $900 US per month. It could be higher if you want a very nice apartment, and it could be lower too if you want to stay somewhere very, very low cost, let's say. But yeah, that's approximately it.
Does Ritsumekon University provide scholarships?
Yes, so I didn't get to mention about the scholarships, but we too have next scholarship, of course, Japanese government scholarship. We have more university recommended scholars than we have embassy recommended scholars. And so we have that. And then also if you enroll as a self-financed student, there's plenty of scholarships you can apply for after enrollment, including a 20% tuition reduction scholarship. If you're in an English language program and you apply for that, that's granted automatically. So you'll have to pay, tuition initially, but you will get that reimbursed, the 20%, and you can just reapply for that every year and it's guaranteed. We also have other scholarships such as the Academic Excellence Scholarship, which is usually granted to about maybe 25 to 50% of students per each graduate school per year. And there's different ranks, but let's just say maybe the highest rank you have roughly, let's say like $3,000 US deducted from your tuition fees. And then the lower ranks will be, maybe $2,000 or $1,000 reduced from your tuition fees per semester. So it's not a percentage-based reduction, it's a sort of yen or dollar-based reduction. But yeah, those are just to name a few. And then again, there's various ones offered by, the Japanese scholarship foundations, which you can apply for through the university.
I would also like to add to what Mr. Daniel just said. I know a couple of students studying at Hitsumekan University, and most of the international students are under the mixed scholarship or the internal scholarships provided by the university. So I highly recommend students to apply to Hitsumekan University.
Thank you.
Does Hitsumekan University have any collaboration with the Sakura Science Program, which is sponsored by GST?
Yes, please look into that. You'll find our name on the list, and with COVID right now, we haven't seen students on campus in some time. But yeah, every year we have been participating in Sakura Sciences, and up until COVID, we had students coming every year through that program.
Is IELTS required to be submitted?
Usually. Well, we accept IELTS, TOEFL, TOEIC, or again, like a certificate saying that your school was taught, all your programs were taught in English. Any of those will suffice.
Could you please elaborate a little on the Masters in Business Administration program in Ritsumekon University?
Yes, so we do have an MBA program, but it's taught entirely in Japanese, and actually you need to have the JLPT level N1 to even apply for the program. So if you're interested in economics, we have our master's program in economic development, and you can sort of take it that route. But if you really want to study business administration only, then we can't really help you unless you speak Japanese.
Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel, for answering the questions. There are still a couple of questions in the Q&A portal, and as we're running out of time, we can't answer all of them. So I would like to request you to answer them when other universities are presenting.
Of course. Thank you.
Once again. Ms. Vaishnavi, could you please share the agenda slide? Thank you so much. Now we have a presentation by Toyo University. So Toyo University is one of the most comprehensive and largest private universities in Japan. It has a very global atmosphere and provides several well-designed undergraduate and graduate programs to international students. Several globally oriented programs and employment opportunities are given to students coming from the overseas. Now I'd like to request Mr. Hori to give us an insight into the university.
Thank you, Ms. Kushi. Hello, everyone. Greetings from Tokyo. So I'm Ryosuke Hori from the International Affairs Office at Toyo University. You heard the two great presentations from Kyoto University and the Ritsumekon University. They are in Kyoto, in West Japan, and we Toyo are in Tokyo, in kind of East Japan. You know, two cities, takes about 2 hours by intercity express train. You know, it's one of the first thing you might have to decide whether you know, kind of which region you're going to stay and study in Japan. So we are Toyo University. So you know, I don't want to keep talking too much. So let me play the video that introduces our university. Okay, it's just 3 minutes, so please enjoy watching here. Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
新入生
Let
の皆
me
様、
stop the
改め
video
てご入学
here.
おめでとうございま
Wait,
す。
wait. Don't go far away. Okay. All right. So I hope you saw some, pictures from our campuses and our, students, doing a lot of different activities and sports teams. So my mission for today is not to tell you about the details of, each programs, but rather I like to give a general overview of our university and what we offer in general. Okay. Okay, so here is our slide. Okay. So again, our name is Toyo in Tokyo. Okay, it's easy to remember. Just drop the K from Tokyo, and that will make our name. Okay, Toyo University. Actually, the campus of the University of Tokyo is pretty close. It's about 15-minute walk from our main campus, so it's very confusing, But we are Toyo means, literally means, kind of Orient or Oriental. Okay. So you know where Japan is, of course, okay? And Tokyo is right here, about the center of Japan, okay? I hope you know where Kyoto is. I can't really point, okay? Right, so as you know, Tokyo is the capital of Japan. It's an interesting, international, very busy, exciting city, but it's a very good place for study abroad students, and I'm going to talk about why later in my presentation. So Toyo University has 5 campuses in the Tokyo area. The main campus is called Hakusan. It's right in the center of Tokyo, okay? As you probably saw this kind of scenery from the video, it's not 100% concrete and buildings. We have some trees and greens, even though the campus is in the center of Tokyo. Okay, here's the tallest building of our campus. Okay, it's not really in the commercial area, but we are right in the kind of cozy housing area, and our campus is boom, right in the center of housing area. So it's kind of strange to see many houses around the campus. So Toyo is a private university founded in 1887, so which is about 130 years ago. So it's one of the largest private universities in Japan in terms of the number of students of 31,000 or more. Okay, we have about 1,300 international students right at this moment. Even though some of them have not been able to come to Japan because of the COVID. But yes, we have that number of international students. And we have 13 faculties. Faculties means kind of school. So we have a school of business, economics, engineering, and so forth. And in undergraduate level, we have 46 different departments. And Toyo is pretty famous for sports, college sports. This is a picture from the sumo tournament. We made it third place in the national tournament a few weeks ago. So just to give you an overview here, for the undergraduate programs, we have these programs. Faculty, within the faculties, we have different departments, okay? So we cover most major academic fields. So we are a comprehensive university, okay? So what we are missing is a medical school and art school. So if you're interested in becoming a medical doctor, or if you're interested in sculpture or drawings, Toyo may not be a good choice, okay? The same goes for graduate programs. We cover mostly major academic fields. Okay, you can study these lists in our website. I don't really want to talk about the details of each program because it will take forever. Okay. So in 2014, we were selected as one of the 37 top global universities in Japan. Okay, there are more than 700 universities in Japan, and only 37 universities were selected as top global university. So we have been receiving national grants to kind of globalize or internationalize the university and the higher education sector in Japan. Okay, so that was a very brief introduction of Toyo. And from here, let's change the topic a little bit. So here you see the three letters L, M, S, okay? I'm going to talk about which size you'd like for your t-shirt, okay? L size, M size, S size, right? Sorry, it's not like that. These are maybe the major concerns that you might face when you consider study abroad, okay? For example, L stands for language. Well, if you don't know any Japanese, then when you come to Japan, you will have you will be in trouble, okay? Or if the course is all offered in Japanese and you don't know any Japanese, that will be a disaster. Okay, M stands for money. This is everybody's concern, not just for you, but for me, everybody, you know. S stands for safety. You know, nobody wants to study in a dangerous place. So safety is an important factor when you decide where you study abroad, okay? So let me talk about our responses to each of these major concerns, okay? So let's start with that, language. So as I said, there are 46 undergraduate programs, and for graduate programs, we have 15, okay? Well, to be precise, there are more, but you know, it depends on how to categorize the program, but let's say 15, okay? And there are 2 undergraduate programs and 9 graduate programs that are completely offered in English, okay? So you don't really need to know any Japanese when you come to Japan or when you start your program at Toyo, okay? Of course, you will have a lot of chances to study Japanese, okay? Especially for undergraduate programs, international students are required to take the Japanese language courses, okay? So even though classes are all in English, you will have to study Japanese, okay? So here's my advice is, you know, is to please learn hiragana and katakana at least before you come to Japan, okay? By learning hiragana and katakana, you will have a lot of opportunities to, you know, you can just communicate when you come to Japan if you know hiragana and katakana, okay? So that was a response to the language part and the money. Everybody's concerned here. Okay, so we are a private university, and here's a tuition fee for 1 year for a regular Toyo student, about this much, okay? And bad news, well, living in Tokyo is very expensive, I have to say. Yes, very expensive, especially the housing, right? The costs other than housing may be the same wherever in Japan you may be, okay? Like food, mobile, these are kind of universal within Japan. But housing makes a big difference, okay? So you really have to think about where you study, okay? I think in Kyoto, probably the monthly rent is, I would say, 30% less than Tokyo, okay? So that's something that you want to consider if you come to Japan, right? So to reduce the financial burden of international students, we offer partial tuition waiver. And this includes 30% tuition reduction to all international students, okay? Although we do not offer 100% like full scholarship package, we offer 30% reduction to all international students, okay? 30% for the first year, and from the second year, it will be depending on your GPA, academic performance, okay? So please try to get the 40% discount, right? So I said all international students, as long as you have a status of residence as a student, you will get this discount, okay? So by 30% reduction, the tuition fee will look like this, okay? So it's a huge, yeah, it's not a huge, sorry, it's not a huge reduction, but it's something, means something, right? And times, 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, and that will be a big difference, right? So that was our response to money part. And lastly, safety issue here. The data is a little bit old, but according to the Safe City Index 2019, I'm very proud that Tokyo was ranked #1 safest city in the world, not in Japan, not just in Japan, but in the world. I'm not really sure how reliable this data is, but it should mean something, okay? Well, I myself live in Tokyo, and I feel that in general, it's safe. Of course, you have to be careful of where to go and when, but generally, it's a good environment, especially for international students. You don't really have to worry about your safety. You can focus on your study, your activities, part-time job, whatever you do. Okay, so yes, please take this into consideration when you decide where to study, right? So that was our response to NES. I hope you get some idea about what we offer to your concerns or issues, okay? So employment rate in March 2020 was this number. This means, like as you can imagine, almost all students who are looking for a job actually got something, okay? But please do not understand this number as that all students got the job that they wanted, right? A lot of students may have to be compromised about what they got, but still, we have a very high employment rate when you graduate. So, and we are also promoting international students, encouraging international students to stay in Japan after graduation and get a job. So if you're interested in working in Japan after you graduate, Toyo may be a good choice. So admissions information from here. I'm not really going into the details, but general information. So we accept new students in April and September. April is the major admission period, and September we take only a small number of students. So for undergraduate fall 2022 admissions, we accept new students in the Faculty of Global and Regional Studies and Information Networking for Innovation and Design. These are the two programs offered completely in English, okay? The second one, Information Networking program, you first start as 100% English track program, but as you go through, there will be more courses offered in Japanese. Okay, so as you study about computer science, information technology subjects, you will be studying the Japanese language. So by the time you graduate, you will be taking many courses offered in Japanese as well as in English. It's kind of a bilingual program. Okay, the first one, Global Regional Studies, this is completely in English. So you don't have to come to Japan to take the entrance exam. We ask you to submit your documents online, and we offer online interview. So you don't have to come to Japan. Actually, you can't come to Japan right now. Sorry. Application documents include, for example, your essay, why you want to study at Toyo, just ordinary questions, high school graduate certificate, grade transcripts, and so forth. Okay, because these are English track programs, we require you to submit the English language test score, IELTS, TOEFL, or TOEIC. Okay. So the next application period is in December. Okay, and the second one is in February, right? So it doesn't really make any difference whether you apply in December or in February. You can just choose. There's no difference. So if you apply in December, you will have an interview in February. And if you apply in February, the interview will be, sorry, this is in April, not in March. Sorry, I this type mistake, April, okay? Then if you accept it, you will come to Japan or to Toyo in early September next year, okay? So by this time, I hope everybody can travel freely internationally, and you will be able to come to Japan, okay? So for graduate admissions, we also offer pre-arrival exam, meaning that you don't have to come to Japan. You can complete all the admissions process online, 100%. So, but this type of admission is offered in the limited programs. So I encourage you to check our website. If you Google Toyo graduate school admissions, you will see the information on the top, at the very top, search result. Okay. So for the graduate admissions, you should find a research supervisor. Okay. And if you're aiming at coming to Japan in September, you should find a research supervisor between January and March next year, and apply in early April, and take an exam or attend an interview in mid-April. Okay. Then if you're accepted, you can start your program in September. Okay.
Sorry, I'm sorry for interrupting, but we are running out of time. Oh, okay, no problem.
Okay, this is the last slide. Sorry. Yeah. If you have any questions, yeah. You can always visit our website, or you can email us. You see the email address. So mlglobal@toyo.jp. So we look forward to hearing you, at any time. Okay, so thank you very much. That's all from me.
Yes, thank you so much for the insightful presentation. There are a couple of questions in the Q&A portal. Most of the questions have been answered by the panelists, but could I pick up 2 to 3 questions?
Please, sure, yes.
Right. Could you please elaborate on the MBA program at Toyo University?
Okay, so our MBA program is English track program. So everything is taught in English. And but unfortunately, the admissions, you have to come to Japan to take the exam. So probably for now, it might be difficult for you to apply.
I suppose you mentioned that there are engineering graduate programs at Toyo University. Are there scholarships also provided to students applying to these programs?
Yes, the scholarship is provided to all international students in any programs. So as long as you have a regular degree-seeking student, you should be eligible.
Okay. A student is asking that if he wants to apply for the Department of Letters, I suppose, can he apply to only one department, or when he's applying to your programs, he can choose more than one department?
Okay. Well, It depends on which admissions process you're applying for. In some admissions opportunity, you will have to choose one program, but in another admissions process, you can choose two or more, multiple programs at the same time.
Okay. Also, what are the two undergraduate programs offered in English?
So in undergraduate program, we offer global and regional development studies. That's one. Global innovation studies, second one, and information networking for innovation and design. So these three programs are offered in English.
Okay, so I suppose that these programs are more inclined towards sciences and political sciences.
Yes or no. So the first two, global and regional development studies and global innovation studies, these are kind of interdisciplinary programs where you will be studying economics, business, and social studies in one program mixed together.
So I would like to reiterate on the fact that in Japan, when you're applying to programs here, you're not restricted to studying only one subject. So in your first and second year, you can choose different courses and eventually find your interests in different realms. You're not only restricted to learn biology or economics or finance in particular. So I think that's a very interesting factor when you're applying or when you're deciding to apply to universities in Japan. Thank you so much, Mr. Hori.
Thank you very much.
Question. Are there any doctoral programs available in Toyo University?
Yes, we have many programs for PhD. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. If you can you please share the links in the chat box?
Okay, yeah, sure. I will do that later.
All right, thank you so much for the presentation. And if there are questions in the Q&A portal, you could answer them when other universities are presenting.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Ms. Vaishnavi, could you please share the agenda slide? Thank you. Now we have the presentation by Japan Sciences and Technology, also abbreviated as JST. JST is an integrated organization of science and technology. It plays a crucial role in the development, advancement, and commercialization of new technologies in Japan. The organization funds numerous research projects nationally and internationally, and also promotes international joint research to stimulate progress in this realm. Now I'd like to request Mr. Nishikawa to give us an insight into the organization.
Okay, can I? Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Nishikawa of JST, Japan Science and Technology Agency. Today, I'm going to talk about just a little bit on JST and also an invitation program to Japan called Sakura Science Program. I'll put up my slides. Hold on.
You can see your slides.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll start with this slide, explain our program with this slide. JST comes right under the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology of Japan. We do promotion of science and technology and innovation, plus human resource development in science and technology. So Japan has already received a lot of Nobel prizes as Japanese scientists, and the JST supported many of the programs by this is Japanese government organization. And then as for India, JST established India office, liaison office in India. And we just share the common space with the University of Tokyo, India office. This is the office. And then this is located in South Delhi, very close to Deer Park, and also very close to IIT Delhi Department of Science and Technology and JNU. So very convenient location we have this office. And then we have a joint research program. We have some joint research program going on and also past programs with India, just to give you an example. These are the recent programs all related to ICT, information communication technology. For example, this one, University of Tokyo and also IIT Bombay is doing this program, architecting intelligent, dependable cyber physical system targeting IoT and mobile big data analysis. This type of programs, joint research programs, we do it together with Department of Science and Technology, India. And then this is the SATREPS. This program is a Japan program. So Japan JST plus JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, tie up together and we finance these programs. And then in this case, Nagoya Electric Works and Nihon University, together with IIT Hyderabad, is doing this program for smart city program. This is mitigation of traffic jam in India, especially for smart cities and for future. And then we have some other programs related to the SDGs programs. These programs we have just going on. And then Sakura Science Program. This is, you have to listen very closely because this is an invitation program. We invite so many people to Japan by this program. And this is a short-term introductory invitation program. That means basically for the first time visitor to Japan, we invite young people to Japan for about 1 week to maximum 3 weeks to get to know Japan's top science, cutting-edge science and technology of Japan. And then so far we have invited people from 41 countries around the world, especially mostly in Asian countries. But starting this April this year, we expanded to all countries around the world. And also this program used to be limited to only science stream, science engineering stream people. But now it expanded to cover all humanities and social sciences field. So many people can be invited by this program to Japan. And then this is an open application type of program. So Japanese receiving organization, host organization in Japan, for example, high schools, universities, research institutes, and private companies, NGOs, NPOs, and other registered organizations in Japan, they will be the applicant for this program. So they will tie up with the sending organization in your country and then make application to JST. So this is a process. Receiving organization submit a proposal to JST, and then we evaluate this program and select the best programs and award. And then implementation, that means invitation by this program by the receiving organization start, and then should be finished by the end of, by middle of March each year. That is the end of fiscal year in Japan. So this is a yearly program. So each program has to be finished by within the each fiscal year. And then JST provide most of the expenses which is incurred in the implementation of the program. That is, for example, we bear round-trip airfare and also all transportation costs in Japan, plus food and accommodations in Japan. And also overseas travel insurance is also covered by this program. So if you are selected by this program and invited to Japan, then you can come to Japan almost free of charge. And then there's certain limitation, restrictions are there. And then age-wise, you have to be below 40 years of age and below, and 15 years above. 15 years means you should be in the class 10 and above. Because in Japan, class 10, 11, 12, 10, 11, 12 is comparable to Japanese high school. So this program is a high school program plus above, and then up to 40 years. You have to be aspiring, talented, highly motivated, people, and you have to speak English. But for Indian people, you have no, I'm sure you have no problem. And then number 4, this is quite important. Who have not stayed in Japan before So if you already lived in Japan for a certain time, then you are not eligible. But you just visited as a tourist for a few days or weeks, then that's okay. You can you are also eligible. And this is just an example, you know. University of Tokyo invited 10 computer science students from IIT Delhi, Hyderabad, Kharagpur, and so on. And then they did some short-term joint research program within University of Tokyo. You know, this kind of, in this case, University of Tokyo became became the applicant and also receiving organization. So these are the, for example, names of the potential receiving organization. For example, #1 university, Miyazaki University, they have already invited 757. This university is #1 as in terms of the number of invitees. Okayama University, Osaka University, Metropolitan University, Shibaura Institute of Technology, Kyushu Institute of Technology, and the University of Tokyo #7. And they have already invited over 500. So most of the top universities in Japan already used this program and invited so hundreds of people to Japan so far. Globally, this program started in 2014, in the year of 2014, and up to 2019, already over 33,000 people have been invited to Japan, and from India alone. Well, nearly 2,900 people already have been invited. But as you see, #1 country, sending country is China. China already sent over 10,000 people to Japan by this program. And India, considering the number of students, you should come to at least in the number 2 position or even in the number top position. So you can, I think that more people, Indian people may have more bigger chance to come to Japan by this program. And then whoever comes to Japan by this program will join Sakura Science Club. This is an alumni association, alumni group. And then for India, for example, the first alumni meeting was held in 2018 October. This is Japanese ambassador's official residence. We had this first alumni meeting and nearly over 100 people are gathered here. And he is an ambassador of Japan. And at that time, chief guest, main guest was, I'm sure Professor Vijay Raghavan. He's a principal scientific officer to the government of India. He's a top scientist in India. And then that time, we selected the main coordinator of this India Sakura Science Club coordinator, Alumni Association. So Dr. Jitendra Chu, he also visited Japan by this program and he became the main coordinator. That is, I should say, president of the Alumni Association. He is an assistant professor of ISA Pune. And then we selected, now, at the first initial group was about 4, but now we have about 10 people acting as coordinators for India. And the second alumni meeting was held in February 2020, just before the pandemic started. So we are lucky enough to have this in New Delhi, IIT Delhi auditorium. We have this meeting, big meeting online. And the Japanese ambassador also joined. And then we have this not only in India, we have alumni already after India, we have Sri Lanka, Vietnam, Malaysia, and also Indonesia and Thailand also. So we are now trying to expand, such a network of alumni association in each country. And we have an alumni association in Japan as well. So those people who visit Japan by this program, again, now visiting Japan, to seek higher education in Japan. So they formed the Japan Alumni Association for Sakura Science Program. So, so I should say, I'm sure most of the viewers today, you are students in high school or maybe university student. So you cannot apply because This is a organization to organization or institution to institution program, not in individual to individual program. So your school can be the sending organization. Your university can be the sending organization. And then sending organization must find a right partner in Japan who can be the receiving organization, host organization. So whatever you have to do right now, if you want to come to buy this program, then if you are a student, please speak to your principal or your vice chancellor or your professor, and then start finding the partner in Japan, partner school or partner university in Japan, and then make a tie-up and then apply for this program and come to Japan. So far, I'm sure you have a big chance. You have big chance to be invited by this program as long as you have a receiving organization in Japan. So hope you can come to Japan. And also JST also have started this online university visit program because last year we cannot invite any people due to COVID-19 pandemic. So we decided to introduce top Japanese universities globally. So had this online university program. So by this program, we have started with in Tokyo Institute of Technology and University of Tokyo and Nagoya University, and then Tsukuba University, Kyoto University, Kyushu University, and then the latest one was Ochanomizu University. And then we still have next program is we are expecting Ritsumekon Asia Pacific University this on December 18. Yeah, this Sakura Institute of Technology, Yokohama National University, they have already appeared on this program. And so just Google, JST is Sakura Science Online University Visit Program. And then you can see the archive, YouTube archive of all these programs. So you can study, very detailed program introduction is made by all these universities so far. So please study, because all the, and then we're planning to continue with one by one with very good universities in Japan. So just wait for the next program. So that's all for today for me. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nishikawa, for the detailed presentation. There are two questions. Can I ask you?
Yes, yes.
How can a sending organization contact the host organization or university? Is there any way?
Usually, some of your professors in your school or some of the teachers in your school, they have some contact with somebody in Japan. So first look for the person who have contact in Japan. And then this teacher to teacher or principal to principal or professor to professor relation can start. This is a starting point. So, or of course, you can directly, your school or your university can directly send an email to of inquiry to each counterpart, but it will take some time. So the fastest way is to find the person who have already some contact. I'm sure somewhere around yourself have some contact with Japan. Or say Japanese embassy is also maybe possible, or any Japanese organization, then one by one somehow find the right person. So on this program, some effort is needed by the side on the side of sending organization. If you want to come to Japan, you have to do some of the effort is needed. Okay.
Any eligibility criteria? I suppose you said from the age of 18 to 24 students can apply.
Yes, usually on the average 10 people in one group. And then depending on the type of the program, I think maximum is around 25. So, but basically for the first time, maybe around 10 in one group. in one application about what, and also one supervisor can be also sent. So that is in case of high school students, maybe one teacher can accompany them to Japan. And also even in the university student, also maybe your supervising professor can be invited by this program.
How about the age eligibility? The age eligibility.
For the supervisor, there is no eligibility. Of course, it is preferable. If he is under 40, it is preferable. But basically, for the supervisor, there is no limitation in age side.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Nishikawa, for answering the questions. There are still several questions in the Q&A portal, but we are running out of time, so we can't answer all of them.
So just look for Sakura Science Program on the website. You can find the website in English, okay?
Yes. I've also shared the links of the Sakura Science Program in the chat box.
Yeah.
So please have a look at those links.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nishikawa.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ms. Vaishnavi, could you please share the agenda slide? Thank you so much. So finally, we'll have a video by the International Student Study of Kyoto Network. So the International Student Study Kyoto Network aims to promote universities and student life in Kyoto. Besides the city's image of being a spiritual home of the Japanese, Kyoto also provides an enriching and fulfilling life to international students. To deepen your understanding on the student life in Kyoto, we will be playing a video created by the Kyoto Network.
Hello everyone. Thank you very much for joining Study Kyoto's information session today. My name is Mika from International Student Study Kyoto Network. Firstly, let me introduce our organization, Study Kyoto. It was established in 2015 to recruit international students to Kyoto and support their study abroad life in Kyoto. Our organization now consists of about 100 institutions and organizations, including universities, vocational schools, Japanese language schools, companies, NPOs, the local governments of Kyoto, and so on. There are many reasons why Kyoto is chosen by students as a destination for their overseas studies. Everything about Kyoto, from its atmosphere to its history and innovation, makes the city attractive to international students. Today, I am going to explain 3 major reasons why Kyoto attracts many international students. Reason number 1, the charm as a historical city. Kyoto is one of the ancient capitals of Japan. Tokyo, the current capital, has been the capital for around 150 years. On the other hand, Kyoto was the capital for more than 1,000 years. So you can easily imagine that Kyoto played an essential role in Japan's history and culture. Kyoto is located in the west area of Japan, called the Kansai region. The Kansai region has other international cities, such as Osaka and Kobe. Both cities are only about a 30-minute train ride from Kyoto. The convenience is certainly another attractive point. In the reader's vote for the British travel magazine, Wanderlust, Kyoto was voted number 1 in the top city category for the first time in 2020. With its 17 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, as well as a total number of 53 million Japanese and international tourists visiting the city annually, Kyoto is certainly one of the most leading tourist destinations in the world. Your family and friends will surely enjoy the city when they visit you. Kyoto is blessed with a rich nature all around it. You can just sit and relax by the side of the iconic Kamogawa River flowing through the city. Hiking on the Kyoto mountain trails certainly refresh your mind. And don't forget to visit the sea in the northern part of Kyoto. Since Kyoto is the center of Japanese traditional culture in all fields, such as tea ceremony, flower arrangement, they became a part of everyday life. Food culture and traditional events are no exception. The people of Kyoto carry on wisdom and tradition accumulated in history. Under these unique circumstances, international students in Kyoto have many chances to experience Japanese unique traditional events and activities. Let's move on to the next. Reason number 2. Kyoto is university town and student town. In Japan, Kyoto is known as a student city. But what does this mean? Kyoto has about 37 universities and colleges, and it consists of about 147,000 students. Considering that the city's population now is about 1.5 million, 1 in 10 is a university student, which is by far the highest ratio in Japan. Also, we can't skip mentioning that there are about 10,000 international students studying in Kyoto. The universities also create unique inter-college opportunities for students to join and network with those from different universities. Since the city has been accommodating so many students for a long time, it has become a very convenient and comfortable city for students to live.
留学生のリカさんはこの日自転車で京都駅を出発。はじめは龍谷大学、そして京都女子大学、京都大学、京都芸術大学、同志社女子大学に同志社大学、大谷大学、京都府立大学、京都ノートルダム女子大学、京都工芸繊維大学、京都精華大学、京都産業大学、仏教大学、立命館大学などなどの大学を回り、最後は京都先端科学大学、京都外国語大学、池坊短期大学、そしてついに京都駅にゴール。この日一日で回った大学の数はなんと25大学、9時間64キロのツアーでした。お疲れ様。
Kyoto offers a truly extensive range of studies, from traditional Zen studies to animation and cutting-edge researches. You can see it from the number of Nobel Prize laureates who are associated with Kyoto. Yes, the theme. The universities in Kyoto provide a rich selection of study options, and each has its own unique curriculum. Some of the universities offer courses conducted in English as well. We are confident that we will find the fields that suit your study. Let's move on to reason number 3. Kyoto is a friendly city for international students. Kyoto's local governments provide not only English, but also multilingual counseling services. This is very useful for especially newcomers. Of course, universities are ready to accept students from all over the world. For example, some school cafeterias are offering halal menus. As I mentioned, our organization Study Kyoto is here to support international students. With one of our projects, we've launched a housing search website for apartment hunting, because it could be one of the biggest challenges for international students. You can search for apartments by entering your school name in English or Chinese to find available apartments around your school. Another thing that we put weight on is employment support for international students. The recent trend shows that more international students wish to get a job in Japan after graduation, so we provide opportunities for them to learn about the Japanese job hunting system and to-dos. Study Kyoto has many kinds of programs and support dedicated to international students. For example, we've launched a paid internship program for international students in 2016. Students can get hands-on work experience and salary, and some of them even got job offers from the companies where they did an internship. We've also created a career development and job hunting community called Kyoto Academy. The Japanese job hunting system is a bit complicated, and international students need to prepare well in advance. This community offers, for example, company visits and job interview practice. To successfully land a job in Japan, you need to have high Japanese language skills. For this reason, Kyoto Academy has a Japanese study group called Beyond N2. It's organized by Japanese student volunteers who are majoring in Japanese education for foreigners. The name Beyond N2 symbolizes their wish to work together to pass JLPT N2, and it's also a great chance to make new Japanese friends. As you can see that Kyoto is a very traditional city, but Kyoto loves new and innovative things as well. Probably many of you know Nintendo, the game company, but did you know Nintendo was established in Kyoto? Like Nintendo, there are many headquarters of famous global high-tech companies actually located in Kyoto. Some of the international students are hired by these companies after graduating. To conclude my presentation, I'd like to show you the major reasons one more time. Number 1, historical city. Number 2, university town and student town. Number 3, international student friendly. These are the 3 major reasons why Kyoto has been attracting many international students. Lastly, let me introduce our website. On Study Kyoto, you will find very useful information about studying in Kyoto in Japanese, English, and some other languages. You can contact us through the contact page there if you have any questions. Also, our international student staff members post on our Facebook and Instagram pages about studying in Kyoto from their perspective. We are happy if you follow the pages and enjoy them. Kyoto is an ideal study destination where students can get much support from the very beginning of their study abroad life all the way to job hunting. We hope you will come here and have a great student life. Thank you very much and hope to see you in Kyoto.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hoshino, for sharing the video. I'm sure students have gotten a deeper understanding of the student life in Kyoto. So this marks the end of our webinar. Thank you to all the panelists and attendees for participating in today's webinar. The recordings of the webinars conducted earlier are uploaded to the University of Tokyo India office site. The link is also shared in the chat box. Also, please feel free to contact the universities personally for additional information, as most of the application periods of English programs have begun. Once again, thank you for attending today's webinar, and we hope to see you in the coming webinars. Thank you so much. You could also scan the QR code on the slide so that you can register for the upcoming webinars. Once again, thank you to all the representatives of the university for taking out time to attend the webinar. And I hope students and parents have gained a deeper insight into the universities in Japan. Thank you.